Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, That Punjabi Family. Today we are doing something different and we are making a bow tie cake. So let's get started with the ingredients. For the ingredients I am using a box mix, but we are doing it with a twist so it tastes fresh. So you need one box mix, 1 cup of room temperature milk, half a cup of room temperature butter, 4 eggs, again room temperature, and also 1 cup of sour cream. Yes, sour cream, room temperature as well. 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of granulated sugar, and 1 cup of all-purpose flour. So let's get on with the ingredients and start making our batter. Using a KitchenAid mixer. You can use a hand mixer if needed, but KitchenAid is more convenient for me. So what we are going to do first, we will be adding in all our dry ingredients. That is the flour, the box cake mix, our sugar, our salt, our all-purpose flour. So we got to put all of it in and give it a quick spin as well, trying to get everything all combined, because then we don't want to overbeat it at the end. So if everything gets well combined now, will be better. So once that is well combined, all the dry ingredients, we will start adding our wet ingredients. You can add them all at once, you can put them one at a time, doesn't matter. I'm starting off with my butter. Again, you can see it's very room temperature, hardly coming off. You can use a spatula to do so. Put the butter in, and then followed by a cup of room temperature sour cream. You need to make sure all the extra ingredients that you're adding in your cake mix has to be room temperature. When everything's room temperature, it has such a great way of forming into layers, and they're not dense, very fluffy, soft layered cake, but it is very strong to keep up. You can do 4 layers, 3 layers, and they won't cave in. So also what we're going to be adding in are room temperature eggs. I used 4 large eggs. You can use medium size, just add an extra one if that's the case. Again, room temperature. I can't emphasize this enough, that all the ingredients be room temperature. So we're going to start combining all the ingredients, scrape it down real quick, add in the milk as well. I almost forgot the milk, looks like. And we completely beat it in, just mix it till it's combined completely. Do not over mix. If you over mix your batter, you will be getting a very rough, dry batter, like a cornbread texture. You just need a silky smooth once it's beat. I have 2 8-inch cake tins. We are going to completely butter them. What I like doing is keeping my butter wrapper that I used, it's already room temperature. There's a lot of butter still on it. So what I just do is, you can either cut a piece off and place it in there like parchment paper, or you can just use the butter that's on there and get it all good in all the corners. Make sure you butter it really well. After you're done buttering, you have to flour it. So I'm going to use about you can use 1 tablespoon. I use about 2 tablespoons of flour. The more the better, it's easier to fan out inside. So about 1 to 2 teaspoons, and you are going to pat it and sort of shake it into where you'll get all the flour in each corner. If you are missing like a part where the flour didn't get to it, just sprinkle it over. Just like this, you're gonna completely flour your tins. Now you have to evenly put about 2 to 3 cups of the batter. Remember, if you're making a layered cake, the layers should be even. So measuring out how much batter you put gives you less work at the end when you have to cut down into the layers to make them look even. So just measure them out, and the mixture that I have, I was able to make about 3 layers easy. I think I had a little extra. 3 to 4 is a good amount with the 8-inch tin, so you can see how much batter that makes. It's quick, easy. You just need a couple of ingredients to add, which is not that much. Now with the offset spatula, or just a regular spatula, evenly spread it out. Once it's all spread it out, tap your cake tins on your countertops to get all the air bubbles out. Once that is done, we bake the cake for 25 to 30 minutes at 350 degrees. As you can see, that's how the cake should come off. It should easily come off your tins. So if it is coming off like that, don't worry about it. That's a good sign. Once you let your cakes cool down, we will frost them, crumb coat them, and refrigerate them overnight. So go ahead and assemble them with each layer of frosting and crumb coat and put in the refrigerator for overnight. Once your cake is completely cold, fondant is very easy to control on top of cold frosting. So we need some powdered sugar, black fondant, white fondant, and rolling pin. Super easy. Now we are going to start making bits and pieces of our bow tie cake. What we need to do first is roll out and knead the fondant. We're going to start with the white because we're using the white as the base of our coat. We completely knead it. As you can see, it takes a little force. It's okay, just gotta work with it a little bit. As much as you can, knead it till it feels not as room temperature, but where it's like regular dough, but a little harder than regular dough. So just knead it a couple of times. Once everything's combined, you're going to start rolling it out to a big circle. Make sure you know about how much to roll out. I just eyeball it by measuring both of the sides of the cake and top, adding them all up so I know about how much. You could use a fondant mat. I just freestyle mine. So it's a large amount, so just keep getting to rolling. You need about a 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch thick. I don't like a thick fondant taste when I'm eating cake, so I keep mine very thin, and it works perfectly fine even if you have to stretch it at the end. There won't be any rips. So about a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch thick is needed. As you can see, I have mine on a rolling tray. Roll it over and sort of stretch it out like if we're trying to fix a skirt. And as that's happening, just fold in, move your bottom of your fondant, and just sort of, it's like a stretch, tug, pull. So just smoothing it out, stretching it, and tugging onto the fondant will help make the shape. At the end, once you get closer towards the end, you will start feeling like there's too many ruffles, but don't worry, as you're doing it, you'll see how it comes out. Now I just used a regular knife and I started cutting off the excess. Try getting as close as you can at this point. Try to cut the fondant into small parts. If you start trying to cutting it out in one shot, you could slip and cut too much. So I try doing little bits at a time, and then once you get the hang of it, obviously you can try doing the whole thing. So go ahead and place this into the refrigerator for 15 minutes to set. Now we need to start kneading the black fondant. Again, takes a lot of work to knead it out. Just try to knead as much as you can. Once you feel like it's workable, then you're good to go. Again, powdered sugar helps for the fondant not to stick to your surface. Once it's all combined and kneaded, cut it in half and just try to knead it and roll it in a way that you get a long rectangle. So once you start rolling, you'll notice you'll need a lot of it. This is how you knead it. You need it about a 3-inch wide and a strip that fits all around your cake. So depending on how big and small you make it, just measure it and go all around. And here, as you can see, I cut it into a semi-triangle, and also you need to cut a strip and just use any like decorative knife to make a design of a ruffle on the strip. And also with the frosting tip, cut out some buttons to put on top. Now with the white fondant, we are going to make a collar of the coat. So that's about the shape, so it's a rectangle diagonal L shape. I used wax paper to sort of eyeball it. If you do need a template on any of this, do comment down below and I can write down or send you a template. So again, this does not need to be thick, just roll it out. Same measurements as before. Once it's about 1/4 to an inch thick, you just place your stamp that you've made into it and go get cutting. And then for the other side, you would just flip it over and cut it. You can use a knife, pizza cutter, whatever works. As you can see, mine's all decorative. That is what I used for the ruffles. So if you are trying to cut it very precisely and it is not working, no need to be afraid of getting frustrated. It's okay, it happens to me too. All you need to do is get a butter knife and clean up the edges once you're done cutting. Or you can just use your finger and it's perfectly fine. To attach your fondant pieces to the fondant that's already on your cake, just use water and just brush it on one side and just place it. Place it and hold it about for 15 seconds and it just becomes glue and it sticks on perfectly well. After that is done, I also made a bow. Just loop 2 of your fondant pieces, put a strip in the middle, and then after that I actually spray painted it gold to give it a color. As you can see, our cake is assembled, ready to go to cut. And if you liked this video, do share, like, and subscribe to my channel. And for future videos, please stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Bye now.